Remember this iconic line from A Few Good Men?
You can't handle the truth!
Well, with all due respect to Colonel Jessup, here at Always Wondered, we absolutely can handle the truth. In fact, we welcome it. Because this is where we tackle life's little mysteries. The strange ones, the random ones, the curious ones you pondered and then eventually forgot about because, you had to go get a bowl of chips or something. We tackle them all, uncovering the surprising, fascinating, and occasionally ridiculous stuff that lies just below the surface of everyday life. No yelling, no courtroom drama, just the little bits of truth you can handle. And the weirder, the better. So welcome to the podcast that answers some of the questions you've always wondered about.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for joining us. Okay, you're driving down the road when someone races by and cuts you off. You spill coffee in your lap and issue a few choice expletives as that idiot speeds away. But then, about a mile down the road, you see that same guy off to the side having been pulled over by the cops. And you say, "Karma!" Which brings us to our question. Have you always wondered, is karma a real thing? Or is it just the universe's most aggressive rumor? Well, let's go back to when karma first started.
Oh, you mean the time when Steve from accounting microwaved fish in the break room and then later dropped his phone in the toilet?
Well before that, a few thousand years in fact, when karma was an ancient belief in Hinduism and Buddhism. And the idea was simple. What you do in this life affects your next life.
Be a good person, and you may come back as a barista who never gets a complicated order.
Medium coffee, black, please.
And if you're terrible in real life,
then you may come back as the office printer that constantly jams and everyone hates you.
But somewhere along the way, pop culture got involved and said,
"Nah, we're speeding this thing up."
So now we think karma works like Amazon Prime for justice.
Thanks for calling the Karma Hotline.
Someone just cut in line at the grocery store.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. How about when they get home, they step on a Lego?
Perfect.
It all sounds good, but science says there is simply no cosmic scorekeeper.
Scientifically speaking, the universe does not care about your coworker stealing your yogurt.
So then why does it sometimes feel like karma is real? Well, researchers called it confirmation bias. When something bad happens to a bad person, we yell, "Karma!" But if something bad happens to a good person, we say,
Life is complicated.
However, what is real is cause and effect. If you're kind, people tend to help you. And if you're a real slimeball, people tend to avoid you. Or sue you. So in the end, karma is not a cosmic force, but it is a way for us to act more decent. And an excellent way to feel better when some jerk gets splashed by a puddle. And honestly, sometimes that's enough.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
When it came time to choose our weather patterns, Mother Nature asked the USA,
Would you like to select a couple of items from my weather menu?
but as a country, we said,
No thanks. We'll go for the all-you-can-eat buffet.
and that's how we became a nation where it can be 90 degrees, snowing, flooding, burning, and with hail the size of grapefruit, sometimes all in the same week. But have you always wondered, what was the weirdest weather event ever? Well, it wasn't the time it rained cats and dogs. It rained meat.
Wait, what?
Welcome to the Great Kentucky Meat Shower of 1876. On a clear day in Bath County, Kentucky, chunks of mystery flesh began falling from the sky. Big chunks, small chunks, plate-sized chunks. Naturally, people panicked. And because this was the 1800s, when curiosity regularly beat common sense, some folks actually said,
We need to figure out what this is. Let's eat it.
Yep, people grilled it up and ate the strange sky meat. But they were still confused.
Tastes like beef.
Tastes like venison.
Tastes like tofurkey.
So where exactly did that mystery meat come from? Well, needless to say, the theories flew faster than the meat itself. Was it an act of God?
The Lord works in delicious ways.
A meat-based apocalypse?
I always knew the world would end in a rib roast.
Or a true freak weather phenomenon?
Mostly clear today with a 20% chance of ham.
Well, eventually science stepped in, but somehow it made it even more bizarre. The most plausible explanation? A flock of vultures. It turns out that vultures have a lovely defense mechanism where, when startled, they lighten the load in order to make a quick getaway. So they throw up.
Ew, gross!
Picture it. A sky full of scared vultures who had just eaten and collectively deciding,
Now!
And that's how airborne regurgitation became meat rain. So, the next time someone says,
It's raining pretty hard out there.
you might want to ask,
Exactly what kind of rain?
The Always Wondered podcast.
every year, twice a year, we as a country continue to ask ourselves the same confusing question.
So why are we changing our clocks again?
So have you always wondered why we continue to mess with daylight saving time? In the spring, we move our clocks ahead 1 hour
It's done to gain an hour of daylight in the evening.
by stealing it from the morning.
Well, yes, that's true. But we do promise to give it back in the fall.
Now, Ben Franklin is often credited with inventing daylight saving.
I may have invented a lot of things, but tinkering with time was not one of them.
That's true. He merely joked about waking up with the sun in order to save on candle costs. But a century and a half later, someone said,
Hey, what if we take that joke and make it mandatory?
So modern daylight saving arrived during World War I. Germany was doing it, and the U.S. said,
We want to be just like Germany.
a statement that didn't really age too well.
We did it to, save on energy.
Well, that's somewhat debatable, but we do know that, especially when we move the clocks ahead, heart attacks go up, car accidents increase, productivity drops.
Yes, but the farmers love it.
However, the farmers say,
It's been my experience that cows and crops aren't really clock watchers.
and today, it seems daylight saving time is more of a tradition than anything else. So what can we do? Well, Arizona opted out.
Thanks, but no thanks.
So did Hawaii.
No way, brah.
And every year politicians talk about getting rid of it, but apparently changing clocks is easier than changing the laws about changing clocks. So when all is done and said, we've learned to live with it and are still confused as to which way to turn the clocks.
Oh, it's easy. Just remember the saying.
The saying?
When spring is sprung or fall's arrived, the clocks must change and time revive.
What?
If the sun is high, bid time goodbye, and cold winds blow, make the day run slow.
Yeah, thanks for making that so clear.
It was my pleasure.
The Always Wondered podcast.
Well, that brings another episode of Always Wondered to a close. Hey, if you haven't done so yet, we'd love for you to hit subscribe. And be sure to look for us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We are everywhere. Kind of like those ketchup packets that multiply in your junk drawer.
They're my emotional support condiments, okay?
All right. As always, we leave you with one to ponder. Have you always wondered, what is the opposite of opposite? So, until next time, stay curious and keep wondering. I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for listening.
The Always Wondered podcast.
If you like what you hear, please subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and a review. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Feel free to offer suggestions for future topics or simply reach out to alwayswonderedpodcast@gmail.com.